All right, let's talk about innovation. We have this idea that it's like a random lightning strike, right? Some flash of genius that just happens. But what if that's all wrong? What if, instead of waiting for lightning, we could actually build the storm? What if we could architect a whole system where innovation isn't just a happy accident, but a reliable, sustained outcome? That's what we're diving into. How to stop hoping for a spark and start building a real engine for change.
So let me ask you this, and I want you to really think about it. In your organization, right now, is innovation just a random spark that you hope for? Or is it a reliable engine that you can count on day in and day out? This is the core challenge, isn't it? Moving from something that feels accidental to something that is intentional, a well-oiled machine that just works.
Okay, so if we're gonna build this engine, we need a super solid foundation. And that foundation really rests on three core pillars. These are the big ideas, the frameworks that when you get them right, create the perfect conditions for innovation to really flourish, and not just once, but continuously.
Let's break them down. First up, the core team. Now, this is so much more than just hiring smart people. It's about putting together teams that have that collaborative chemistry, where different skills just click together perfectly. Second, the culture. This is huge. It means building an environment where it's actually okay to take a smart risk and even fail, where failure is seen as a learning moment, not a reason to get in trouble. And finally, creativity. We gotta stop treating creativity like it's some kind of magic that only a few people have. It's a skill, a muscle you can build into your everyday work with things like brainstorming sessions that are actually useful. These are the building blocks, the absolute essentials.
So having those pillars in mind is one thing, but a blueprint is just a piece of paper until you start building. This is where we get to the fun part, moving from the plan to the actual construction site. It's all about designing a real action plan that turns these big ideas into what people do every single day. So how do we start?
The secret here is you've got to get your hands dirty. This isn't about another company-wide email talking about the importance of innovation. No, this is about designing it together. Things like collaborative workshops are absolutely crucial. It's where you can actually work on strengthening how your teams operate, figure out what a culture that rewards risk really looks like, and practice weaving creativity into your normal routines. You do it all in real time with the real people.
But, and this is so important, this stuff can't happen in a vacuum. You can't have an innovation team working in some corner totally disconnected from the rest of the business. That's a recipe for failure. For any of this to actually work, every team building exercise, every new cultural idea, it has to tie directly back to the big picture, to the main goals of the organization. Innovation has to have a purpose.
And that brings us to the one thing that holds this entire structure together. Honestly, you can have the most brilliant teams and the most amazing ideas, but without this single element, the whole thing just crumbles. And that element, it's leadership. It is the absolute keystone in the arch of your entire innovation system. Just look at the two paths you can take here. On one side, without that strategic leadership, you get what's called isolated disruption. Those random sparks we talked about, yeah, they're exciting when they happen, but they're completely unpredictable. On the other side, though, with real intentional leadership, you build a sustained capability, a system where innovation is just part of the DNA. It's embedded, consistent, and supported. At the end of the day, it's the behavior of leaders that flips the switch from one to the other.
This quote just nails it. The most powerful thing a leader can do isn't to be the sole innovator themselves. It's to be the architect, to build the systems that empower everybody else to be innovative. It's all about creating the right processes, giving people permission to try new things, and fostering that psychological safety that allows change to happen over and over again, not just by pure luck. So as we start to pull all these threads together, the main idea becomes incredibly clear. We're not just trying to manage innovation. We are consciously, deliberately architecting a resilient culture. We are building a system from the ground up that's designed to handle challenges and to churn out change as a regular part of its operations.
And this is the end game. This is what we're aiming for, a sustained capability. It's not just another piece of corporate jargon. It's a real state of being, where creating disruption becomes a normal, repeatable, totally supported part of how your organization works. I mean, just imagine innovation being treated as a core function, as essential and as reliable as your finance or marketing departments. That's the goal.
So there you have it. You've got the blueprint, the pillars of team, culture, and creativity, all locked into place by strong leadership. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it? Where do you start? What is the very first tangible step you're going to take to start building this thing? What is the first brick you will lay?